former Secretary Mayorkas, and retired Air Force Lieutenant Colonel and Maryland congressional candidate Bernie Flowers. Also with us is former CIA Senior Operations Officer Rick De La Torre. Great to have you both here. Rick, great to see you again. We saw you in the last block, but a lot to dissect here as to where this investigation goes. We know that there could be potential terrorism ties. That's something that the FBI is now looking at. But we also know in terms of these officers, one has passed away, another one's still clinging to life. But the focus now is on immigration. And did the Biden administration do enough in terms of its vetting process of bringing these Afghan nationals to the U.S. after the Afghan withdrawal? Rick, what do you think is going to happen next? Do you think now we're going to start to see it make it very difficult for people to come to this country? The Trump administration clearly has outlined that immigration is now top of the mind.
Well, I think the American people expect and deserve to have secure, communities, and that the people we do let into this country align with what we want them to be and do in our country. The program obviously is broken when we can't validate, we can't confirm or vet people that are coming into our country. The notion somehow, and we've seen this over the last few days, that because they were CIA vetted somehow that means something. Well, I can tell you when I served in war zones, when we vet someone in a war zone, it's to conduct operations in that war zone. It's not to seek U.S. residency status or to move to Texas or anything like that. That's not what we do. When we vet someone, it's for very specific things. So this is a program that's in total chaos. It hasn't worked. It didn't work then. You can't make asylum decisions, on the flight line next to, a C-130 on an airport that we're abandoning within the next few hours. That's just not the same thing.
Right. Barney, in light of this horrible incident, President Trump said that he wants to permanently pause migration allegedly from poorer nations. Obviously, I understand pausing migration for various reasons, but what do you think he means, or why from poorer nations? Would that make a difference?
Katrina and John, thanks for having me. Immigration is a complicated subject, and I'd like to first bring out the point that for Operation Allies Welcome, DHS was designated as the lead federal agency. They had never done anything at that scale before. Matter of fact, it was an unprecedented operation, so we were almost doomed to failure, and now we're seeing the results of that. But another thing that we need to take into account is how come we can't take some of these people from poorer countries, as the president said, and take them to culturally significant countries where they speak the same language, other Arab countries. They want to bring those people to the United States where they don't necessarily fit into the culture and might not have a very easy time acclimating to our way of doing things. So maybe that's something that we're thinking about. But the president is well within his rights because job one is to protect the American people.
So you're saying it's more of a culture fit as opposed to a socioeconomic difference fundamentally?
Definitely something that needs to be looked at, in my opinion.
The White House press secretary, we just heard from her just a few moments ago, Caroline Leavitt, speaking on the shooting. This is what she had to say about the ongoing threat that we see here in America. Watch.
The tragedy that we just witnessed the day before Thanksgiving is a reminder that untold thousands of terrorists, gang members, and criminals were invited into our country and remain here to this very day. The border is now secure, thanks to President Trump, but the threat in our interior remains real and urgent.
So we know that the border is closed now, but there are a lot of people in this country that now need to be vetted, and the Trump administration looking at that. But now you have the Democrats on the other side. You've got, from Arizona here, the Democrat Mark Kelly. He's saying that this pause on immigration from third world countries is because the Trump administration doesn't like brown people. They're always making it about race and not worrying about the politics or the safety of American citizens. Would you agree with that?
I'm brown. I'm here. So the bottom line is, these folks, again, it's a cultural issue. And I believe that people who come here to the United States should be able to contribute without getting welfare, without getting Social Security benefits, without getting the things that American people have paid for dearly with their work, sweat, and toil. So we need to be very, very careful before we bring people into the United States without vetting them. And again, Operation Allies Welcome was a complete failure as far as I'm concerned. And the people that started that program need to be held accountable.
Yeah.
So, Bernie, it sounds like what you're saying is if you want to come to this country, be willing to roll up your sleeves and pitch in and do your part in order to benefit like other Americans do. It makes perfect sense to me. All right, Bernie, Rick, thank you.